attempted power grab had been prevented, Baxter returned Bram to Alasia, where Bram would be punished in a manner befitting the gods. Except, Bram's exit from Alkarra didn't sit well with many of us. Would the discipline even happen? Who was in charge of Bram's punishment? What if he escaped? How would we even know? I shook off my concerns regarding Bram. I couldn't focus on that now. When Bram left, he'd adamantly declared that other demigods were already here, ready to turn witches to mortals and take their allegiance. Except no other demigods had been caught in the months that had passed. With a sigh, I threw myself into a padded chair near the fire. Flames crackled in the rectangular stone hearth, which stood as tall as me. Light flickered into the darkening room. A gust of wind shivered the windows on either side of the fire, and I thought I saw a star pop out of the night sky. My thoughts skimmed over Leadham Wood and the distant keen of the trees outside. Their voices murmured, low in my thoughts, but I turned back to the topic at hand. Sisterhood, stalled progress, lack of council support. My knee hopped around in a wild bounce as my thoughts built. Most of the council's focus since the end of the celebration had turned to managing inter-network affairs, while Papa focused on the other networks. The general panic amongst our witches meant the council's attention was, understandably, placed on cleaning up the mess that the celebration left behind. Soon, though, it would need to shift to public safety. The demigods that lingered in Alkarra would be caught, even though they hadn't been found yet, and we needed to be ready. The council won't respond well to me putting the idea of a sisterhood forward, Scarlet said, stating something that we already knew. I imagined she had a mental checklist of sorts. She always verbally ran through a list of things we strongly presumed before we could advance to action items. I need to maintain my current position of trust amongst the council, and the sisterhood will not inspire it. You need to stay distant from the sisterhood, I murmured in agreement. In other words, the sisterhood was mine to live or die with. Any success or failure belongs solely with me. Scarlet would be a vague figure in the background that no one else knew about, but would offer advice privately to me as needed. When it made sense to do so, the sisterhood would receive Scarlet's full endorsement and assistance. We've already ruled out that funding isn't an issue because we could use the training equipment that the Brotherhood uses, I pointed out, which will help. I'm happy to volunteer my time until we have a significant plan for currency. Scarlet's sharp gaze didn't frighten me. She didn't like that I wouldn't be compensated for my work at first. But with Papa as high priest and my own cottage in Leadham Wood where the trees kept me safe, I could lose payment without fear of starvation. For a little while. For the sisterhood, it would be worth it. For now, she added. I waved that off. Calm had returned to her general mane, which helped me relax. I returned to my feet but didn't pace. What if we can pull Matthias to our cause? I asked as the idea popped into my head. The head of Protectors was a daunting man. The council had approved Matthias when Papa instituted him. Not that their contrary opinions would have stopped Papa, but it helped keep the water smooth. As highest witch, he controlled network relationships, the Brotherhood of Protectors, and the Guardians. The council of 10 other witches worked within the network and helped with everything else the witches needed. Scarlet's brow grew heavy in thought, so I pushed into the fresh idea. If Matthias publicly supported the founding of the sisterhood, then you could too. You wouldn't be in jeopardy of harming your trusted relationship with the council, because there would be 2 high-ranking leaders behind it. That would give us a greater ability to find other female candidates and start the discussion on how the Brotherhood and Sisterhood could interact. What about the matter of females not being allowed into the Guardians? Different issue, if you ask me. She made a noise in her throat. I disagree, but a point could be made. I stopped, faced her, and threw my hands in the air. I can't believe we didn't think of this before. It's a win-win. Matthias is the answer. Her expression gave nothing away as she studied me. Why do you think he's critical? She asked. Her crisp tone suggested she already knew what I'd say, but wanted to hear it from my lips. Because he's the face of the Brotherhood, just as I will be for the Sisterhood. If the 2 of us work together...